constantly. My name is Bonnie Love. I am the editor of Worldwide Drilling Resource. It's an international drilling magazine that covers all kinds of drilling, from water well to construction to mining. I brought some extra magazines. I put them over there so they can grab them on the way out if they want one. That's the job that pays the bills. That's the job where I go Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and do what I got to do. My passion, however, comes in my volunteer work, which is with the Women in Mining Education Foundation. We are a group of women all over the country who are in the mining industry, and we have a goal to come out and teach people the importance of rocks and minerals and the mining industry and the roles that they play in your life that you may not even realize. I've been with the Women in Mining Education Foundation since 2010. Became vice president in 2015, and this is my 4th presentation for this particular class. My daughter Bethany here, she's a student here. She was in environmental science class last year?
Last semester. Wait, no, yeah, it was last year.
It was last year, yeah. But she introduced me to Dr. Cuccio, and Dr. Cuccio was very gracious enough to have me come in and give you a different perspective of the mining industry than what is perhaps in your books. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to take them M&Ms in that little cup. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all, and 10 being, well, probably just about everything, I'd like you to rate how much you believe the mining industry impacts your current life. And put that many M&Ms in your cup. That's more than 10, but you're right. Okay. So how much did you guys put in there? Use some numbers here. How many did you put in? Either of you? 7. Good. How many did you guys put in? 4, 6. All right. If you will turn around to these little lovely rock boxes donated by the Nevada Mining Association. And if you'll open them up, you're going to see a set of rocks. These are directly from the mines. They've not been processed. They've not been cleaned and prettified. That's why your boxes are dirty and dusty, and why your desk will be dirty and dusty when we're done. I'm going to name a mineral, a rock or a mineral, and the properties and what it's used for. I challenge you to go through and find out which rock I'm talking about. And on the same token, if I mention something that you use on a regular everyday basis or something you can't imagine your life without, put an M&M in your cup, and we'll see if your cup's full by the end of the day. Okay, ready? We're going to start with, I can't read close up. We'll start with gypsum. Gypsum is what's used in your wallboard. It's used for plaster. It's used in your flour as a filler for flour. It is used for casts, for brewing beer, for wine, making wine, the clarity of the wine, ice cream. It's even used in your Twinkies. So it's a color additive for your makeups, cosmetics, and it is one of the primary ingredients of toothpaste. Now, if you didn't brush your teeth this morning, we got something else to talk about. All right. So I'm going to give each team a point when you get it right, and at the end, the team with the most points will get a prize. Gypsum, you're trying to find what is gypsum and what you think gypsum would be. And like I said, it's ground up and used in your flour, it's used in your sugar. You can pick it up and touch it, it won't bite you. Nope, that is not it. Mm-mm. Would you guys make a choice? Nope, it's actually this one. Yes. Gypsum, back in the black and white days of film, used to be ground up and spit in the air to look like snow. So it's chemically inert. It's something you can eat. It's actually that one.
No way.
Yes, if you look at it, it looks like a No, it's actually this one. Looks like a sheet of glass, and if you look, you'll see. You guys got a good sample where you can see the layers. So you guys eat gypsum every day, and you probably don't even realize it.
Also, don't lick any of the samples. Yeah, disclaimer.
Yes, we do have to say that because somebody actually did it. So, the next thing, how about sulfur? Sulfur is one of the most abundant minerals in the most important elements in the human body, and one of the most abundant elements in the planet and even in the universe. Sulfur is used for your medications. Sulfur, if you think about back to your fire and brimstone study, smells like rotten eggs. So you can sniff it, but again, please don't lick it. So some of the other uses for sulfur, it's used in medication, used for your immunizations, matches, fireworks. If you enjoy those fireworks on 4th of July, you better put a couple in your cup. It's used in the production of steel and used to make rubber. You guys got your samples picked? You can touch it. It isn't going to bite you. That's it. You got it. Okay, did you guys make a pick? No, but that is a pretty one. It's actually this.
What did I say?
Which one you guys picking? That's it. Yes, good job. So you guys may use sulfur and not even use it. If you use anything with rubber, it's probably got some sulfur in it. How about an easy one? Let's go with the only magnetic rock, one of the only naturally occurring magnetic rocks. It's called magnetite. When ancients discovered... Nope. It is not. It is not. It's supposed to jump out of the box, but yeah, that's it. Yeah. When ancient people discovered magnetite, that's actually what spurred our development of studying magnetism and how we decided to... Who'd you guys pick? No, that's not.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
And again, it's magnets, so if you use anything with a fan or anything that uses magnets, put another cup in. I didn't get you guys yet, did I?
No.
What's your pick? Oh, where's my stickers? I don't know.
Which one did you say?
I don't know. We just put this over there.
Ah, that's the one I was gonna say
Yes.
too.
And that's a pretty big
Sticker
chunk.
Sticker yarn,
Nah. So what most of you guys picked is actually galena. Galena, although it's really heavy, it's only rating a 2.5 on the Mohs hardness scale, so it's very, very light. So I'm gonna give everybody a point if you pull out your galena. Yep, that's it. That's it. Galena is used for your batteries. It's used to process lead. It's used for power generation. Yeah, that's yours. And archaeologists have discovered evidence that lead was smelted as early as 6500 BC. So mining has been occurring since before recorded history. Mining's been done through the Egyptians, and like I said, even lead has been mined since 6500 BC. Romans about 2,000 years ago. Quartz. This should be fairly easy. Quartz is chemically inert, which means it won't burst into flames or it won't cause any damage. Quartz is used in the making of fiberglass. Yes. So fiberglass, that includes all of your vehicles. Which one do you think it is? Nope.
I think this
Nope.
one. Oh my god.
That one.
Oh, that was our first
One of the most amazing properties about quartz is its ability to vibrate at a precision frequency, a precise frequency. So it's able to be used in your phones, your computers, your watches, It's used for all of those items. Anything electronic will most likely have quartz in
I think we
it.
go with our first guess. This one?
No.
Which
Oh,
quartz?
that one.
Yeah.
Did I show you which one it was? Okay, all right. Okay. What about copper? Think you guys can find copper? Copper is one of the most widely recycled materials on the planet. About 1/3 of all copper that has been recycled. When copper is resmelted, it does not lose its properties. Yes.
Y'all got rocks in your hands.
Take a pick.
Maybe you pick.
No, not me pick.
I'll come back. I'll see if they're ready. What do you think?
Copper? This one.
Yes.
That's easy.
Yes. So again, anything electrical. So if you plug it in and turn it on, it's used copper. It's widely used in televisions, computers. Like I said, if it has an electrical cord that plugs into the wall, it has copper. All right, pumice. Pumice is a fun one. Pumice is the only rock that floats. It's very airy. You guys got it, yeah. Pumice is used for pencil erasers as an abrasive for skin. Yes. You'll notice it's very light and airy. It looks like it'll be a heavy rock, but it's very light and airy. It's used in your emery boards. It's used, yep, for your traction on your tires. It's used for rubber. It's used for clay. Cat litter. I mean, I don't know if any of you got a cat, but cat litter.
Like put it in the rubber that's in the tire.
Yes, to increase traction. If you use it, I've been short of a nail file. I mean, it will actually.
Right. You can
Yeah.
have them in showers and
Yes.
stuff.
Your pumice stones, yes. Mhm. All right, we're going to talk about limestone. You've got two samples of limestone in your box. One is typical limestone, something dimensional dimensional limestone, something you would use to pave your driveway or to decorate your garden. Then you have a unique kind of limestone, a Mariana limestone. Mariana limestone is very high in calcite, so it is very white. That is Mariana limestone, yes. So this is Mariana limestone, and this is regular limestone. You can see the more calcite, obviously, the more white it is, the more calcium it has in it. So this Mariana limestone actually has a pretty neat story.
This one?
Yep, and then the regular one's right beside it. That's normal limestone. That Mariana limestone came from a mine 4 miles from this classroom. It's just down the road on Bump Nose Road, the Mariana limestone mine.
Somebody else? Anybody else?
Didn't we say that one?
Yes, that's regular limestone, and this is your Mariana limestone. So you can really see a big difference.
Why is it so different? Why?
Why is because there's more calcite in it. Mariana limestone has a high content of calcite. Limestone is used, again, for your flour and sugar to keep it from clumping and sticking. Oh, yeah, everyone gets a point. Totally missed my spot. It's used for fertilizer, rubber, glass, paint, latex, soap. It's used in the preparation of cotton and wool. So all of you are wearing cotton today, so that's another M&M. High grade limestone, the limestone you get from Mariana, the white limestone. That limestone is actually used for agricultural limestone. It's given to the eggs for grit, given to chicken for their eggs as grit. It's given to cows for a calcium supplement. So if you like eggs and you like cows, you need to put some in there. Peanuts, that's a very good one.
So with it being Mariana limestone? Is it just found here?
There's actually a deposit called the Mariana Limestone Deposit. And yes, it doesn't start here, but there is a limestone mine here that does process it, but it's actually a belt that runs all the way through here. 90% of the peanuts in the country are grown within 125 miles of that mine, and the bulk of them use Mariana limestone for soil additives, which in my opinion is why the peanuts are so much better here than anywhere else. And like I said, it's also used for paper, glass. So anything that has glass in it has also got limestone, or silica, which is just plain old sand. All right, so I think we've got everything except fluorite. So you guys should all be able to get fluorite. You guys have been guessing fluorite all day, so you should know exactly which one it is. I can feel it falling out, but I can't fix it. Fluorite is your main ingredient in toothpaste. It's also one of the main ingredients of rat poison. It's used for lenses, optical lenses, telescopes, cameras, used in ceramics, refrigerants, any non-stick like your Teflons. They will also contain fluorite. Yes, fluorite's a very pretty rock, in my opinion. I like pretty rocks. You guys have been guessing it all day. Yes, that's it. This one. If you look at your fluorite, you'll see the different colored crystals. You'll see blue, you'll see purple. Those are the actual fluorite, and the waste rock around it is the brown, white stuff. That's the stuff to be taken out. We didn't do calcite. I forgot that one. Yes. Oh, I didn't check you guys. I'm so sorry. Yes, the pretty one. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Calcite is used as a soil treatment to control acidity. It's also used in your antacids. It's also used to make paint white. It's used in plastic, rubber, coatings, inks, adhesives. The rest of this is just stuff. Pretty much the same thing. I'm doing the points. Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, calcite. Calcite is something, again, you will eat calcite. So the rocks you guys eat, you guys pick it? That's it. That's it. Calcite, they get a point. Now remember, I told you your limestone from Mariana had high levels of calcite. And I said that calcite makes paint white. So there's a couple of hints there. Yeah, see? She told you. That's limestone, see? That's Mariana limestone. So it has a lot of calcite in it. That's what made it white. Let me go check the other table. All right, did you guys pick one? Yes. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. You just got a tiny piece.
So if like this and this mix, we get this?
Yes, yes. A lot of the reason the Mariana limestone seems so rich in calcite, they believe, is because this whole area was once under sea. And if you talk to the gentleman that runs the mine down here, he'll tell you they find tons of fossils from the sea in the mine. And it's a fairly young mine, but he still finds a lot of those things. So we've got calcite. I believe we've covered any of them. Does anyone have a rock that we haven't discussed? Nope. We got them all.
Did they find calcite?
Oh, yeah. You guys didn't tell me your part. There you go. All right. So, some of the industries that count on, well, actually, let's go back to Florida. Florida is second in the country for production of limestone. We are one of the top producing limestone states. In 1889, phosphate mining began in Florida, and since then the state has become one of the top suppliers of phosphate, supplying roughly 25% of the world's supply of phosphate. It's used as fertilizer. This is the empty hole you have in your box. It's supposed to be a sample of fluorite or of phosphate, and that is something I'm currently working on. But it's something, again, you'll have in your soft drinks, anything bubbly. your monsters, your sodas, your toothpaste. It's even in your vitamins and your supplements. Well, a tiebreaker. She says we have a tie. Which two? Well, I think we know which two teams. Just give them a choice between a pen and a book.
Can you guess what this is?
No, do the other one. Do the other one.
This one?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it's called. You two teams. You tell me something you think you might use it for. It is called talc. If you look on your Mohs hardness scale, talc is number 1. It is the softest. So it is not very hard at all. It is used in makeup. There's one.
That's what she was.
Any other uses?
What's it called?
Talc.
Talcum powder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby powder.
Any kind of baby powders, yes. You also eat talc. You know that powder on the candy or on the gum that keeps it from sticking to the wrapper?
So now they can't guess gum.
Really?
It is covered in talc, yes.
Okay.
Does it
Anyone
mean
else?
do latex? Is like the powder you
Yes. Or what? Paper, yes, it could be used in, and it's actually kind of neat because it's actually used on decks of playing cards to keep them from sticking to each other. Yes. Oh, sorry. No, that's sodium bicarbonate.
Anything else? Think.
I think that's game, yep. So they get first pick, and then you guys get second pick. So some of the industries that rely on mining,
Planners.
I want a pin.
it actually has a light. If you take, no, they're not stylus, honey.
Yes, they are.
No, these are new. Oh, the end is stylus. Oh, we just got these pens in, so it turns on a light or a book. I'd want to know it.
I got 3 pens.
I'll take a pen.
So some of the industries that count on mining, without mining, your doctor's hands would be tied. You'd have very few medications or immunizations. Aerospace. Like I told you before, mining has been done as far back as recorded, before recorded history. I'll wait till she's done with her pencils.
I'm so confused.
But mining has been the fuel behind a lot of changes. Mining has fueled the search to the west. People were searching for gold by searching for the west. That's how we settled the west. The Industrial Revolution was circled around coal's ability to turn iron into steel. We are continuing with the space race. Even your computers, when we go to the digital age and everything switched to computers, all of that required mined and mineral products. Mining and mineral products is what I meant to say. And we're going on into space. Currently, we are drilling on Mars. May 5th, we're sending up a second drill to Mars, who will drill down 17 feet to try to see what we can discover. So far, we've discovered hematite and we've discovered boron. Those are 2 minerals that are necessary for life to begin. Are we saying there's life on Mars? We don't know, but we're saying that some of the elements are there to indicate it either was there or could be there.
Why
Yes.
17 feet?
That's massive for Mars. Currently, we're only digging about 8 inches.
Okay.
So for us to go down 17 feet, this is like really big deal for us. We leave May 5th, and it'll arrive November 26th, thereabouts, around Thanksgiving, and then it's going to start drilling. Since space is open market, basically, anything in space is open for anyone to take. There are private companies that are exploring ways to mine asteroids and other planetary items, we'll put it that way. Currently, we've drilled on the moon. We found water. Like I said, we've drilled on Mars, and we found remnants of water and, like I said, boron and hematite. So we continue to search for more. Personally, I think water is going to be the biggest thing to look for when we get into space. But the mining industry is on the cutting edge and always has been. don't go down into the mines with a pickaxe and a shovel. That's not the way the industry works. Mining is actually one of the leading technologically advanced industries. We're also one of the best paying industries. Now, we don't just need miners. We need construction. We need welders. We need mechanics. We need human resources personnel. We need someone to answer the phones. The mining industry has a lot of different jobs, and I encourage you to consider them in your professional life when you get out there. It is a very rewarding industry. I think of something else I was going to mention to you guys.
Wasn't there a mining crisis up north? Like they shut down a bunch of mines and people lost their jobs?
The controversy around that is all around coal. And coal, I have my opinion and the PC opinion. Coal is bad, coal is this, coal is that. Coal gives you a lot of things you don't realize. Your synthetic materials, your rayon, your nylon, those are all from coal derivatives. Your little pink sweetener packets that you put in your sodas, that are for your iced tea, that's a coal derivative as well. Rubber, plastic, all of that, styrofoam, they all come into play. So it's not just coal for electricity generation, which is what it's primarily used for now, but there are other instances. This is samples of coal. You guys are welcome to, your hands will turn black if you touch it, if anyone wants to see or touch it. But that's where they're closing mines. They're closing coal mines. Personally, the United States has more coal than any other country in the world. We have more coal than Saudi Arabia has oil. So in my opinion, we should be the ones using the coal. We should be the ones saying this is how you use it responsibly. We have clean coal technology that will wash and scrub out the sulfur and the volatile organic compounds. I believe that we have the technology and that we have the ability, and obviously we have the resources to make coal be as clean as possible and transition into other electrical generation.
So that's why they're being shut down, because
Yes.
they burn dirty.
Because they don't burn dirty anymore, they used to, but yeah, that's why the environmental side said it's too dirty, too dangerous, we want out. And everyone else is saying we're using it better than anyone else. I don't trust China to process coal correctly. I don't trust China to scrub their coal before they use it. And whether we're burning it or China's burning it, it's in the same atmosphere, so it doesn't matter. I would rather we be the ones to do it because I know we can do it right. But as far as other mines, they don't have that controversy. Most people don't realize you're mining salt, you're mining baby powder, you're mining stuff that's not metallic. Your baking soda, your flour, salt, all of your baked goods come from the mining industry as well. So, trying to remember where I was going with that, and I apologize. Huh?
Why you want us to mine instead of China?
Oh, I already finished that part. Yeah. Any other questions about the mining industry?
So no one, I mean, people still have to physically go down in a mine, is that right?
Some mines. However, Australia, there's actually an article in this month's magazine. Australia has a fully automated mine with over 40 trucks that are controlled from 900 miles away. So not only are they hauling, they're also excavating, and it's all done by remote control.
Mom, what page is that?
Oh, what page is that on?
17.
17. Drones are playing a big role in the mining industry right now, sending drones in to inspect things where people aren't going. The one thing to remember is as you get so deep, when you get to a certain point, it starts getting hot. You know, the resonating heat from the core and from the magma comes up. So we can't go down too far without having to send equipment down that's remote controlled instead, so that we're keeping our miners safe. Anything else? The deepest borehole, I can't say the mine because it is not currently mined, is 6 miles. And at that point, it's too hot, and equipment, drill bits start to disintegrate, and you can't really go down that far. So Sandia Labs out west, they are developing drill bits and drill pipe that can withstand the intense heat, so that we can drill down even further, if nothing more than just to see what's down there, to see what we can see.
Does mining or drilling like that into the earth like affect anything?
When you get to the Precambrian levels, yes, that's where
Where's
you
that?
trigger. Precambrian is one of the earliest plates. It's way down.
Oh.
It's like before mankind was really civilized. When you get down to the early Earth days, then you can trigger earthquakes and get into tectonics. There are engineers in the geology world who do nothing but study tectonic plates and their motions and reactions.
Has anyone here ever taken physical science? Yeah, so you've taken Mr. Tidwell?
Oh, I didn't take it here.
Well, he actually has an entire chapter based on tectonic plates and how that works, and
That's our current chapter. We're
Yeah.
studying.
Yes.
mechanics.
okay.
Well, and part of it is core sampling, where they'll go in and drill a core to see what's beneath the ground, and that really goes into the tectonic studies. They actually recently just discovered a whole new continent that we didn't know existed, New Zealandia. Yes, it's south of Australia and north of, huh?
We just missed it?
It's a continent we didn't know existed. Yeah.
So now there's 8.
Now there's 8, yes.
Since when?
Dang.
Right, why was that not on the
Yeah,
news
why
or on
is
my
it not on
Facebook feed or nothing?
Because now I feel like everything wrong.
Yeah, it's been within the last 6 months, I can tell you that much.
How do we not understand, like, see a continent? It's just out in the
It was
ocean.
bits and pieces. Most of it is underwater. I think 90% of it is underwater.
Isn't Hawaii
Mhm.
supposed to be getting a new island by like 2020 or something like that?
It's not really, well,
Well, it's coming up.
it's magma coming up, yeah, and yeah.
So are
But-
there rules, regulations, policies in place to make sure like we don't touch the Precambrian
Mhm,
stuff? Like
yes.
they monitor people or whatever?
The mining industry is one of the most heavily regulated industries around. Not just with safety, but with air quality, water quality. Mining really has to follow a lot of rules.
Tightest leash.
Pretty much, yeah. So they do make sure that they don't go down that far. And like I said, when they take their core samples, they can actually study and see. They look at the rock that they pull out, and they can study and determine what level they're at and what kind of rock. Are they getting limestone? Are they getting, are they hitting bedrock? Are they hitting something that's soft like talc? You don't want to hit a talc deposit and then try to put a building on it, or you get a leaning tower like you got in San Francisco. So
Like what, if you take like a core sample from somewhere, what kind of things are you looking to learn from it?
what's beneath your feet? Core samples are taken for the construction of roads, bridges, just to see if what's beneath us is strong enough to carry the load. Especially in Florida. Florida's got a heavy limestone like we talked about. It's very porous, and they have a karst environment, so those pores can open up, and again, that's why we have sinkholes, because those will open up and just everything will fall down. So studying those core samples helps with that. Up in Minnesota, they did some core samples to find out why the spiny flea
Spiny water fish.
it actually invaded their lake and has killed off a lot of their fish. So by doing a core sample, they were able to actually determine where it came in and how long it's been there, and then they know whether either it's too far gone to treat, or we can go ahead and treat it. Core samples are used for water. If you're looking for a water well, they'll use core samples to make sure that the casing will hold up. Geothermal, if anyone studied geothermal heat at all. Does anyone know what geothermal heat is? Okay. For geothermal heat, we're basically pumping in water to a borehole and letting the heat of the earth heat that water, and that steam turns a turbine and creates electricity. Don't have to wait for the sun. We don't have to wait for the wind. We've got geothermal heat underneath our feet constantly. Any other questions?
What's your favorite part of the mining industry?
Being in the mines. I really love being in the mines. I don't get to go in them very often. I've been in 5 underground, 4 above ground. But I've always been a rock person. I grew up in Colorado. We would go geode hunting. We would actually go looking for, anyone know what a geode is? Yeah, it looks like a rock, and when you crack it open, it's full of all these beautiful crystals, and that's what we'd do for fun. We didn't have this stuff. We didn't even have cable. I mean, so yeah, we went out and looked at rocks. So I've always loved rocks and had a fascination with the beauty of rocks. And to think that our planet creates these rocks with pressure and the elements around it, it's really, to me, it was fascinating. But that's my favorite part, is going in the actual mines. It's really neat. If you ever get the chance, you should. It's really, really neat.
Isn't there a mine around here?
Yeah, I've told them about the one here. It's an above ground mine.
You can go.
Okay, see, that's where you throw me. When I think of a mine, I think they're all underground.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You've got open pit mines, which is where they mine the surface mine, and then you've got the underground mine. Ironically, it's the surface mines that are actually more dangerous because of the landslides. There's actually a surface mine, Bingham mine, out in Utah. I believe it's Utah or Nevada. Anyway, out west, that you can actually see from space. It's so big. You can actually fit like a dozen Empire State Buildings in this mine. It's so deep, but it's above ground, so you can actually just look and see. The equipment is massive. When I stood next to the loader truck, my head, and I'm only 5'3", I know I'm short, but at 5'3", I was barely touching the first bolt of the tire. I couldn't even reach the top of the tire. That's how massive this equipment is. And you'll see in that picture, if you look at the automated mine, you'll see a good picture of how big those trucks are.
Are we mining mountaintops?
It's not done very often. It is still done. I can see both sides on that one. I don't know that mountaintop mining is always necessary. I think once we transition from coal to a renewable source for electricity, I really don't think mountaintop mining will continue. We will still mine for coal. We still don't need coal, just not in the massive quantities that we've needed it in the past.
So what happens, like, once a mine's done? Do they just leave it?
No, they used to. Like I said, growing up in Colorado, when we go up to the mountains, that was kind of what we did for fun, was run down into the mine shafts. We didn't realize how stupid or dangerous it was. Because back in the 70s, that's all they did. 60s, 70s, they just put up a board, said keep out or closed, and walked away. But in the past 30, 40 years, that's changed. We don't do that anymore. Not only are we closing our current mines appropriately, some companies are even buying old mines that were closed wrong and cleaning them up and closing them correctly. So the mining industry is just trying to fix correct the mistakes of the past by going in and fixing them. Before a mine can start, they have to have a reclamation plan filed with the Office of Surface Mining through the federal government that explains, and through the state has requirements too, to require them to put the land back to the way it was or better. Now, you can't fill a big hole, but they can make it usable. Most quarries, you'll see quarries turned into lakes. Mountaintops, some of the mountaintop mines has been turned into grazing land, to where it was all rocky and people couldn't get to it before. It's now flat. They've got local plants and local animals, and they're using it as grazing lands. So the industry overall has come a long way in reclaiming those properties and making sure they're safe, not just for future miners, but for anybody that's in the area, so that stupid children like me don't go wandering in there and fall down into a mine shaft. You've not heard that happen in a long time. So that's a lot of the reason why. Anything else?
Anyone curious about kind of jobs that would be in mining?
I think I've covered it. Sorry.
Specifically with engineering jobs?
That's where the money's at, if that's what you guys are interested in, is in mining engineering. There's actually a college up in Missouri S&T, They have a wonderful mining program. Not only can you get a degree in mining engineering, you can get a degree in blasting, where you can learn to blow stuff up, blow it up the right way. So anyone knows a pyro, let them know to go to Missouri State, and they'll teach them how to harness that desire for blowing things up into something that'll pay money. Actually, their final exam is setting off their own fireworks display. It's really cool. But mining engineering is actually where the money's at, because you are the mining engineers are the ones that go in and determine where to drill, where to blast, what part is stable, what is not stable, where the roof bolts go, to keep the mine safe for the miners that are working inside.
Do you know what kind of education that would involve?
It is a PhD, and the engineering degree is I think the engineering degree is only 4 years, but they do have a PhD in blasting as well. It's really kind of neat that they've come that far. So did anyone learn anything they didn't know before? That's all I need. Well, I just want to make sure you guys understand it. Whether it's plastic, rubber, glass, metal, wood, every bit of it has had something to do with mining. Whether it's used to take it out of the ground or whether it was used to process everything. Right now, those paper towels that held your napkins required mining. The little plastic cups holding your M&Ms required mining. The little M's on your M&Ms are actually made from titanium dioxide, so they required mining as well.
Yeah. Are there positions for women in mining?
Absolutely. There are tons. We do have women in the mines. We have women engineers, women electricians. It's a very heavily science and math. If you're into science and math and that's your thing, please consider the mining industry. That's what we need. Mining is nothing but studying the movement of rocks and studying physics and how rocks react when we smack them, when we blow them up. Well, what happens to them, and that's what we need to study, learn, and know for production.
Is a women in mining volunteer for education?
The one that I'm in?
Yes.
Yeah, we are across the country. We have hundreds of, I can't tell you how many, probably hundreds of members. The Education Foundation is a separate branch from the Women in Mining. Women in Mining is each location has their Women in Mining group, and it is with men and women. It's not just for women. It was just started by women. That was the name, so they ran with it. But we've got men in our organization. The Education Foundation is solely based on, the Women in Mining can also deal with legislative matters. They can deal with education. They can deal with a lot of the things we don't. The Education Foundation, our sole purpose is for educating the public, teachers. We teach teachers how to do little examples like you guys did here, where we'll use M&Ms for geology, or we'll teach them how to use mining and the mining industry to study charts and graphing and all kinds of little activities, just to try to change that stigma that mining has. Mining has this huge big bad wolf appearance to people, and it's just not who we are, and that's what we're trying to do, is to show people we're not big old monsters. We need minerals, we need rocks, so we need mining. But like I was saying, if it's rock, plastic, any of that stuff, it required mining.